Mincha for sure.
Uh,
I don't know if I saw it from Myra.
I hear. Okay, the Kelim P3 Gimel Mishnah Vav. So we left off a few days ago with we were talking about if you take a kli and you support it with a lining, so then that lining, depending on whether that lining was there just as an extra or it was there to actually support the kli. So if it's there as an extra, it's considered a separate entity. If it's there mamish to support the kli, then it'll take on the same status as the kli. So yablis, is some sort of growth, like the grass. So toiflin bas es hapitosin. And you use it to also to line these large earthenware kalim. Meaning you don't want them to leak. So I guess you put some sort of grass on the inside. So hanegeya ba tame. So anything that touches this yablis becomes tame. So why? Because if you don't have this yablis, then the kli is going to leak. Right? So then it becomes, so therefore it's part of the kli. And if you touch when the kli becomes tame, that the yablis also becomes tame. It becomes part of the kli. Megufas chavis ain't a chibur, but a megufas chavis, that we know we've had many times. Megufas chavis is like the cork that you put into a barrel, right? So that's not considered part of the kli. So therefore, it's just because the kli becomes tame doesn't mean the meguf is going to become tame. And again, b'tifule shaltana. So the tifule shaltana. So they used to line their ovens. They heated up their ovens, and the oven stayed hot for a long time. And they put some sort of lining on it to make sure to provide insulation for it. Yeah. So what about that? So if something tame touched that, since it's also part of the tanner, so then the tanner becomes tame. Right? I mean, you say anything that touches it is going to become tame. So again, the same rule with this Mishnah as the other Mishnah is that basically if it's necessary for the kli, then it's going to become tame too. It's part of the kli. If it's not necessary, then not. A similar Mishnah, mecham. A mecham is nowadays we use the word mecham for an urn. Right, but an urn shetfala b'chaymer of a charsis, and also the same thing that they lined it with chaymer and charsis, earthenware, like clay or earthenware, and then it becomes tamei. Sanegea b'chaymer tamei. So if you touch the chaymer, it becomes tamei. Why? Because you need it. Ubecharsis, but if you do with charsis is not as strong. It's more of the Rav says. It doesn't stick. It doesn't stick to the kli so well, so it's tar. Humkum shenika, if you have an urn that got a hole in it, which we discussed last parak, that if it gets a hole, then the whole thing becomes tar. Vasoy bezefes, and you fixed it up by taking tar. Rav Yossi says it's tar. Sheni yochel lekabel esachem kitzayin, because it cannot hold hot like it could hold cold. Meaning, if you take tar and you fill in the hole, and then you take hot water and put it in there, it's going to melt the tar, and then it's going to leak. So Rabbi Yossi says it's tar because it's not the same kli. And the same thing with any sort of kli that was made from tar. Why? That since you can't use it for hot, then they're not considered kelim. Clean the chayshes shes fason. If you have clean the chayshes copper that were lined with pitch, then tahirin, then they're tar because you don't need them. Right?
Is plastic a kli?
Plastic is a big shaila.
Because what you just said, and I'm watching Gershon eat supper. If you have a plastic fork and the kugel melts the fork, but you still use it to eat because that's what you got, you know.
What do you mean? So
So is it a kli or not? I mean, he's using it as a kli. Let's say, I don't know what he's eating. He should enjoy his supper because of day. But you have a piece of, you have a chunk or a piece of kugel and it's melting the keli, but that's what you're using. Because if your wife said you better not take a good dish before Shabbos, that's it. You use a paper or plastic, whatever. And it's melting, but it,
you're saying it's not a kli.
I don't know what it's. I don't know what it's like if it's like anything. But I saw Gershon eating, so I thought to ask it.
No, but doesn't see, but that here we're talking about linings and whatever that's called of the kli, right? This is the actual kli. So I don't know, Tuck, if that. Well, here I mean, here it's saying kli nechaysha. Well, but kli zephes, right? Yeah, you're right. I don't know, Tuck. If you plastic kli, it's based on this Mishnah. You're right. It says that you make it out of tar, a kli, and it can't hold hot water, then it's not considered a kli. I don't know, Taka. Maybe that gets into the whole whether you can make kiddush on a plastic cup, right? If it can't hold hot, then l'chayra, right? If it can't hold hot, some of these plastic cups cannot. They melt, right? When you put a hot, you use it for a clear, cliche, whatever it is. Yeah. But then it says
The yeshivish stick of doubling up the cup doesn't work.
So I wonder. Most places can say it does not work. I just wonder if maybe. I wonder if maybe that's where it comes from. Maybe Taka won't melt it.
How do you make a shot glass?
What?
I mean, will a shot glass melt if you put hot water into it?
I don't know. I never put hot water. I put always up the room temperature in there.
Yeah, you only put the other type of hot in there.
Should we do an experiment? Should we cook up the bourbon? What does he want us to do?
I know with the double plastic cups, my Rebbe used to just say, it just means it's twice as much garbage. Why is that anything better?
Yeah, but I wonder, will it melt it the same way? I don't know. Maybe that's the makor. And that's if im liyayin tamei, and if it's for wine, then it is tamei. Why? Because you want to make sure that for wine, you don't want to put, for these are the big wine drinkers. If you put the wine into metal, right, it's going to get that taste. It's going to get that metal taste. So you need to put a lining in it. So therefore, it's not as bad. Whatever, it's part of the kli. Okay.